And if you don't think I've been working on that one for a while, you're out of your It's like, how can we say this? We can't say some of those other things that some of those other tracks have done. It's a long time ago, different tracks. That one in New Jersey, they got their thing. You remember that one? Yes, day of the week at XYZ track. At another time, I've played to you what was the National Speedway, their opening line. Yeah, that's right. Found some of those old videos out there. And unbelievable, actually, the history of racing. And I know we covered that on another occasion. They got their own thing. Really unbelievable. Some of the big name drivers that came out for those opening days. And this one is going to be just the same. So excited. April 9th. That's right, this weekend. And I'm not the only one that's excited about this. There's so many people. I shared some of this stuff on our Racetrack Not Street page, the group page over there. So that is out there, and they continue to share my videos, and I really do appreciate that. But we also got a whole lot of things going on of different radio programs that some of our friends were on. There we go. We're back over at that thing. So I want to play some of that. But I don't know. What do you want to call it? You want to call it networking. You want to call it law of attraction. You want to call it sincerity, authenticity. We'll call it integrity. I guess you could do that too. In fact, I know you could do that too. But there's one thing that I have really grown to appreciate over the years, and it's those people that are just so focused on what it is that they're looking to accomplish. And it's not just what they're looking to accomplish for their own benefit. It's the benefit of the group. It's the benefit of their friends. It's the benefit of the family. It's for the benefit of the organization. It's for the betterment of the community. And a lot of that stuff is what kind of gets thrown into the whole equation when we talk about a person's integrity, about who they are, about why they're doing something. A couple of conversations I had today were about, hey, somebody wanted to do something because they just wanted the notoriety out of it. Not good. Somebody wanted to do something and just wanted the money, the fame, the rest of that stuff that goes out of it. No. And there's so many of those things that are out there. But when you show up with a group of people that really are there for the betterment of the entire community. Quite a few things happen. Your own personal goals kind of get met, as that goes along, because people want to help you because you're helping people. It kind of works both ways. That integrity thing, the breaking down, and that was mentioned this morning too, in a religious setting, might I add, about the fact that we do need to share stuff. And if something's gone wrong, we need to come to grips with it, learn from it, and move on. I thought that was fascinating. Truly fascinating, because I wasn't expecting to hear that in the setting that it was. But it did. But these folks that I've met throughout the years now, and it goes back about 4 years now that I've gotten a chance to meet the Long Island Needs a Drag Strip people. Dennis Catoni, Pete Scalzo, Marie, Donna, the whole Bonnie, George. The list goes on and on. John, Johnny, and John. A whole bunch of Johns getting thrown in over there. So you know who you are. But I want to make sure that those of you that don't know who these people are, know who these people are. 2 of them got an opportunity to talk to Jay Oliver on the LI News program. Jay has been so gracious with the whole thing. In fact, LI News has been so gracious with the whole thing. It's good. Jay's got a business show. Why would you have drag racing on a business show? I mean, really, come on. What does one thing have to do with another? Well, you'll listen. I got the town supervisor, Riverhead town supervisor, Vedaguar, was on Jay's program, and that's one of the things she spit out immediately. Just absolutely immediately. And what does drag racing mean to the community? Why racetrack, not street? I mean, really, that's a message, isn't it not? It certainly is. Pete had a chance to talk about that. And what about the fun side of it? He said the business and then the message, fun, family fun. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Last year, I asked a friend of mine if he wanted to go and take his son, single-digit age son, 5, 6, or thereabouts. And what are they about? The noise level, stuff like that. All the cars have got mufflers. Is it quiet? Not as quiet as when that Tesla went ripping down the track, but it wasn't excessively noisy either. This is drag racing, spectator drag racing. This is not those top fuel cars, the funny cars with, no exhaust, just full blown noise. It's not that. It's not that. This is, some of it is actually you and me racing our cars, our street cars down the track. Some of it is those that have got cars that have been modified a bit, and they keep it in the garage. They bring it out on those beautiful days, and they drive around that speed limit, and they bring it to different car shows and stuff like that. But they're looking for a place to run the car. They have to go to some of these tracks that are far off the island in order to go and do that. They're excited, very excited about what it's like to do that. Those of us that have never done it, we're curious. They're excited. They don't have to spend the money, time, energy, and effort to travel to those surrounding areas with the whole thing. And then, and this was most amazing, and John Montecalvo, John drives a race car. He's a professional race car driver, got his own business and things like that, but he's a professional race car driver. Last year, he had the choice to make. Do I go to one of the professional races, or do I stay here and be a part of history? Well, you can look at the video, the photos. John was here, brought his race car here. Didn't have anybody else drive that race car, but he brought his race car here for show. Because remember, cars have to have mufflers going down the track. His professional car didn't exactly fit those parameters. It was done here. He was part of the whole thing here. Was that exciting? Oh, absolutely. Was he excited about it? Yeah, you should see his involvement this year, not just last year. And what about some of the other families, the Dobrys? Oh, not only did they help out last year, they're helping out again this year, but their kid was driving. Yeah, their single-digit child, same age group as the one that came as a spectator, except this time Jason actually drove his junior dragster down the track. Fascinating? Yeah. Exciting? Yeah. Curious? You should be. It's absolutely terrific. All right, but I want to play, before I get too far in over here, we're 8 minutes in already. I just want to play some of these videos, so I'm going to do that. It's audio only. So we'll show a few photos so we don't have to look at my mug throughout the whole thing. And what is that? What is that title I see down there? Brian A. Cohen? Yeah, that's me. Announcer? You bet. I'll be out at the track this year. And not, just going to be out the track much more consistently. And yeah, you might hear my voice as we announce the races. In lane number 1, we've got. Lane number 2, we've got. Reaction time is. And then they go down the track. Fascinating. And I'm so looking forward to that one. We'll see how we do with the whole thing. I'm trying to brush up on some of those racing words, not just, using things that are inappropriate, but it'll be fun. And who knows? Maybe we'll come up with our own tagline while we're out there. It'll be a boatload of fun. All right, let's get this thing going. So let's share screen. Let's go over to here, Facebook, share. And there we go. So I have this stuff posted on my page. And let's see if we can listen in. This is...
A lot of love for the town of Riverhead. Worked in the radio business for a number of years, and leading the charge in fine fashion is Yvette Aguiar, winning her second term in tremendous fashion this past November, and the wonderful job that she has been doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the town supervisor, Yvette Aguiar of the great town of Riverhead, joins us for a couple of minutes on this early Wednesday. Madam Supervisor, it is great to reconnect with you here.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. Yeah, I missed you.
Well, listen, you don't have to be a stranger, If you feel like calling in, you have carte blanche.
Watch how fast this goes.
Thank you. That's an honor.
Anytime you have an announcer or anything. But, there's a lot going on in your neck of the woods, and I love the fact that we've got some great impact of racing coming once again. It's only a couple of months out when you think about it, right? But, a nice little revival there. Talk about that, but I think it's August, right?
Yep. Now it's April 9th. April 9th. April 9th. We got going.
It's restaurants were running out of food. We couldn't get a hotel room. We have some specialty auto shops, and they're normally not open on the weekend, and they were open. Home Depot, people were shopping. Sangha Mall was crowded, and it was really it was great to see. The people welcomed it. This is a family event, and I had no idea how close people were to drag racing and what it meant to them and how emotional they can get about it. And I have to share with you one instance where towards the end of the drag racing series, there was a group of people called me over, and there was an older gentleman in a wheelchair, and I walk up to them and they said, "This is our grandfather." And I said, "Okay." And they said he used to manage the racetrack in Iceland for many, many years until it closed. And he was in a nursing home, but today's his birthday, and we took him out of the nursing home because he needed to see this. And the gentleman in the wheelchair looked at me and he said, "You know what? I'm in a nursing home and I'm old. If I die today, that's it. I saw a racetrack coming back to Long Island." I mean, that was it was such a family event, all ages. It was great to see kids working their little remote cars and eating ice cream and sitting on the runway at Epcot, and so it's back.
It really is. And you know, Madam Supervisor, I was there in '01, and there was such a love for that out there like no other town. It's good to see, you know, because I've traveled the country, and it's good to have in your own neck of the woods the same love that exists, you know, for instance, in towns, small towns down south, you know. And this is really a defining activity as far as what Riverhead presents, and it's so good based on the pandemic and everything else. So the last 24 months, it's just so good to have it kind of come back and play here, you know.
Yes, and they've been working on it. Pete Scalzo, the promoter, is great. He's been doing this across the country for many, many years. And then came along Linus, the Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. And that's an organization with 26,000 members. It's an online organization. And so those two came together. They've been very, very professional. It's great to see two organizations that never knew each other come together and make this happen. And again, it doesn't matter what age you are, what color, where you come from. This is family. This is friends. It's great to see people tailgating towards the end of the night, meeting each other, laughing, exchanging phone numbers. They're all coming back together. They all want to be together, and it's great. It's great for the community. So they're going to take off on Saturday. I'm going to be in a 1938 Dodge, a blue one this year, and I'm going to break the ribbon, and it's going to take off. And you know, there people can go online. They can purchase their tickets, and the events are on the weekend. And I'm not going to go through all the dates with you, but there's a series again starts this Saturday. There's a summer series, and then there's fall series, and the entire community is looking forward to this. I had no idea, Jay, how impactful this would have been to our community. And I'm going to tell you, it was a fight to get there. There was a certain number of people, very small, I call them the loud minority, actually the loud majority, and they chirp, and it was, I'm sorry, this is what the community and the entire board agreed on it. And so we're moving forward, and hopefully you'll get out there, Jay. Let me know if you can get out there. Maybe you can get in the car and race.
Well, you know what? When you talk like that, get it ready. Rev it up. Rev up them engines. Because now, you know, it's always been one of the, you know, one of my dreams is to do that. But, you know, we'll see. Now, listen, you know, the impact regarding the waterfront areas, and that's going to have some impact as well, you know. I was driving through the town a couple of days ago, and I love what I'm seeing on Main Street, you know. But really, it is going to be a driving force economically. Waterfront area, I'm talking about. It's going to be a nice little revival there.
Yeah, Mr. Jay, unfortunately, our Main Street, the buildings are focused on the street. But I don't know who the developer was, and when they build these buildings, right behind the buildings is a riverfront. You would think that they would turn the buildings around and focus the entrance.
So beautiful.
Everything. Yeah. So we had a vision. As soon as I took office in 2020, in March, the governor closed the town, and the president did also, the state, and the president closed the country, and then we were faced with this. And being a real estate agent, we saw residential real estate go exponentially up, but we also saw commercial go down. Everybody was scared. It was, I'm thinking, 2-3 years, a property is not be worth anything, and so we called Gordon, one of the owners of a lot of the private buildings, who never sold to the town, even though the town always inquired. And we called them up in March as soon as the nation closed, and we said them we were interested in purchasing a building or two. We wound up with 3. And he goes, okay, how much you want? How much you offer? And so the negotiations began, and we took a national disaster, a pandemic, and we used it in our favor. And so we brought it to the board and negotiated the price. And as soon as we had a press conference, we wound up with the 3 buildings in front of the Suffolk Theater, because we wanted the Suffolk Theater to be the center point. So if your back is facing the Suffolk Theater, those 3 buildings are out. 2 are down, 1 will probably come down too. And we opened up the riverfront. And in the summer, people will be able to walk from Main Street, just walk right down. And the governor gave us a $10 million grant to help develop the riverfront. I mean, it was involved a long process. We have a great credit rating. We got Moody's upgrade last year after the pandemic. I believe I'm the only town in all of Suffolk that got a Moody's upgrade, and we didn't raise taxes this year for the first time in 21 years. The town is pretty much stable, and so we're moving, and we are. There's a lot of things going on, but everything has to have a balance. Got to make sure we preserve our farmland, our vineyards, and certain things belong in certain areas. And so Riverhead is to use street vernacular. It's happened. It definitely is.
So you've done a heck of a job in everything you've done, and starting your second term now as the supervisor. By the way, we're going to have Pete Scalzo on Friday. He's the operator as far as the racing. So we're going to have him on for a couple of minutes. And it all kicks off this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And Yvette Aguiar, don't be a stranger, okay? We're going to keep highlighting and following a lot of the great things happening in your neck of the woods. We look forward to the next time, though. How's that?
Yes, great. And Jay, if you're around at 10:30 on Saturday, it's the ribbon cutting. We expect some public officials to be there, and it's 10:30. Racing starts at 11, and who knows? If you show up, maybe we'll get you to go down the runway before the races start. We'll check with Pete and Lynn on that.
All righty. My agent will be in touch with you. I do have a few requirements, but nothing out of the ordinary. But I do appreciate the invitation. Always great talking with you. Always great having you on. Okay, we look forward to the next time. Thanks so much.
Okay.
So let's get back over here. Hey, Jay, if you need an agent, I got you covered on this one. Happy to arrange whatever your special needs are to have you racing down the track over there, without a doubt. All right, so Pete was on. Pete followed up with it. So he was on just a few days ago, and I'm going to play that one right now. Let's just pop over to that. There we go. And again, all the stuff is on my page. So if you want to listen to it, it is there. But before I get started with this, let me just pop back over here, and then we'll get that playing here. We'll go a few minutes over today. But I put up a few of the links over there. That Suffolk Theater goes back to the 1930s. Amazing history that's there. So glad. When I spoke to the supervisor, I was like, "Oh, you got to make sure you keep that theater." And she went on, absolutely, absolutely. That's there. Big time history there. The waterfront area, it's beautiful. You've got there's a marina down there. You got the Long Island Aquarium. You have the hotel that's there too. Catering hall, it's there. Beautiful when it's all wide open. Canoeing, it's there. Restaurants there. Entertainment there. The excitement of the different areas in and around Riverhead, the mall. Did I mention drag racing? Also, Riverhead Raceway. You got drag racing during the day on a Sunday. Then you got Riverhead Raceway at night at the races. Some of the races will be Saturdays, also, whatever. But it's two different kind of styles of racing. One circle, the other one straight line. It's all different. And there's so many different places to go out there. Different. You want to enjoy water stuff? There's you've got the Split Splash, which is operating right now. You got the beaches. Different, built in the water. It's different. It's different things for different people. The wineries, great. The restaurants, galore, all over. Something nice and quiet and quaint. Also historic, you got Shelter Island, Montauk, fishing, all this kind of stuff, man. Can't say enough about it. One of the great things about Long Island is such diversification. It's great. It's great to see different things out there. All right, so Pete Scalzo was on. Pete also did the interview with Jay Oliver on LI News Radio. Pete's about 11 minutes, so we're going to go a few minutes over here and enjoy this one. Pete's on a mission, man, and it's all good. There's so many people adding independent for this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Scalzo with Jay Oliver.
A couple of minutes to round it out and get you ready for the weekend. First, though, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we spoke yesterday with the supervisor of the town of Riverhead, actually on Wednesday, Yvette Aguiar, and Pete Scalzo. He is the racetrack promoter, Long Island native, and he brings all his experience back to the island after a 17-year gap. We saw his first legal drag racing, Tab Cal, Enterprise Park in Calverton this year, beginning next Saturday. It's a week from tomorrow.
It's actually this Saturday, April 9th, this Saturday.
You can see and experience some incredible drag racing. Pete joins us for a couple of minutes here on a Friday. Peter, how are you?
Hey, Jay, thank you very much for having me. And you mentioned the supervisor. What a woman. What foresight she has. A year ago at this time, I met with the supervisor. I was out at EPCAL. I've been trying to get out there for the longest time, actually, going all the way back to when Sean Walter was the supervisor. And every time I went in front of the town board, they were very receptive. But the first question everybody had, understandably so, was, well, we're concerned about noise. You have the cemetery, National Cemetery nearby. You have houses not too far away. And I always had the same answer. You might be right. I don't think it's the problem, but let's do this. Let me do a sound test at my expense. And believe it or not, I was always turned down. And again, it makes no sense. Last year I was out. I met with John Montecalvo, Dennis Quintoni. We were out at the site, Nick Filipides, and we reviewed the site. I was told by these gentlemen that the Long Island needs a drag strip, made some inroads, and that the supervisor might be interested in speaking to me about the possibility of running drag racing. So when I met with the supervisor, she turned me on to Ms. Dawn Thomas, and I made the presentation, and lo and behold, we ran last year, and Jay, we had 7 events. We sold out every event, and we're coming back with 19 this year.
And it should be quite I tell you, they love, and the crowd, you're getting great crowds, and Riverhead really appreciates this stuff. I mean, listen, they have experienced racing for 40 years. We know around on 58 there with the track. So they got a good little presence there of, how they kind of have loved it and embraced this over the years. And it kind of made this particular project, kind of a show-in, Pete, right?
Well, yes, and I do understand what the neighbors, what the concerns were. Now, we did our events last year. We did not have any noise issues. We did not have any traffic issues. And also, I must mention that the chief of police, the fire marshal, the DEC, they're very strict in what I had to do, and again, understandably so. And we complied with everything they wanted us to do. We did not, again, have those noise issues. We did not have the traffic issues. Another point I want to make is the Riverhead Raceway, the stock car track. Wonderful institution. They've been around forever, and they do a terrific job in running their type of program. Another thing that I want to mention is that there are stock car racing fans that wouldn't walk across the street to see a drag race. And there's drag race fans that wouldn't walk across the street to see a stock car race. So we fill that void. And we're giving the people a place where they can come and enjoy their sport. But the main focus that we do on our type of activity, Jay, is opposed to, say, some of the other fine racetracks in the country. And I've owned 5 in the past. And most of our times we have our dragsters and our promos and the alters and the, quite frankly, the loud cars that put on a great show. We are the total opposite of that. Yes, we're drag racing. We are NHRA sanctioned. We have to comply with all the rules, but our focus is right in our name of our events, which is racetrack, not street. And what's going on today, Jay, is some of these cars that are being produced, the Dodge Demons and the Corvettes and whatever, they are so fast. Guys, back in my day, back in the National Speedway in West Hampton, and Islip at one time had a little drag strip, we couldn't build cars as fast as you can buy off of the factory floor. And the other crazy thing, Jay, is the fastest drag race car we had out there at the track last year. Let me ask you, what do you think it was?
No idea. Tell me.
A Tesla. Tesla Plaid. They are so fast. So my point is that these cars are being manufactured, and, you know, going back to the horse and buggy days, you had 2 horse and buggies pulling up next to each other. They probably wanted to see who was faster. Well, that's what we've had over all the years, and that's where legal drag racing has filled the void of eliminating or combating the illegal street racing. When all these cars are being built, these street cars that are so fast, where are they racing them? Well, unfortunately, they're racing them on the street. We fill that void. That's the name of our whole program, racetrack, not street. You run what you run. I don't care what you have. The grocery getter, the mom's soccer van. The only thing, unfortunately, we are not allowing motorcycles because, in my opinion, even a quiet, muffled motorcycle, it does make a little bit too noise. So we're still very cognizant of the fact that we have to keep things quiet. So all vehicles must have mufflers. They all have to be inspected. Again, NHRA specs, helmets. We check the cars for all safety features, batteries tied down, et cetera. And, not only are we making the streets safer, not only are we providing wholesome family entertainment. Last year, we had 3 generations, many cases of 3 generations of racists. Grandpa, grandma, dad, and also the children. We have some of the youngsters out there, the Dobies. One boy, I think he's 6 or 7 years old, and his little junior dragster. So you're seeing generations of people coming out enjoying the sport of drag racing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Now, those listening, where do they go for tickets? How can they get this in advance, Pete?
Our website is racetracknotstreet.com. And another thing that we did agree to, Jay, and rightfully so, as much as I did not like it, but the town board said to me, Pete, we're concerned about traffic issues. So I said, well, what's the problem? They said, we believe, and again, Jay, they were right. We believe that if you announce drag racing is back after 17 years, you're going to have 10,000 people show up, and then you will have a traffic problem. And unfortunately, I wasn't happy, but I said yes. So the answer to the question is we are not permitted to sell tickets the day of the event. So folks must go online and racetracknotstreet.com, and you'll be able to be directed. We're using a company called Eventbrite, which is similar to Ticketmaster. And you can buy your tickets online for all of our events coming up. We have 3 events, and what we coming up here, the 9th, 10th, and the 16th. We're calling this our spring series. then we have to take a break because of the bird nesting season. So our last event this year is April 16th. Then we have to wait all the way until the end of the bird nesting season. We come back again on August 20th, and then we run 16 events, August, September, and October. Some of those events, in fact, are nighttime. But when the folks go online to buy tickets, they'll also be able to see our folks places.
You can see all folks. You go to the website once again. That website is, I just had the darn thing here. Let's see what it is. Tell me the website again, Pete. Go ahead. Racetrack.street.com. Is that it?
That is correct. And also, let me put it out there in public for you. You bring out that brand new Rolls convertible or Corvette or Lamborghini. You be my guest. You can come out and you can run. Why don't we set up I don't know, maybe a run you against the Supervisor or you against some competitor from another radio station. Again, we'll put you on the track. We have full timing system. One other thing, Jay, we are a temporary facility. Okay, that we have a permit to run these events. But when you come there, I guarantee it, because we've had so many people tell us this last year, this is temporary. We have floorboards, we have the concrete barriers in place, we have a tremendous amount of support from the local businesses. You'll see the banners all over, the professional PA system, state-of-the-art timing system. So, and you'll be seeing 200 cars racing down the track, of course, 2 at a time. So it's an exciting, wholesome family entertainment facility that we were providing for the folks here, not only Riverhead, but all over. And by the way, last year, our opening event, we had Lee Zeldin. We know there's other people that are very much involved or very much cognizant of the fact of the illegal street racing. I know Steve Ballone is also the Suffolk County executive. They know what's going on with the illegal street racing. Thanks to the town board, especially the Supervisor Aguilar, we are providing a wholesome family legal place where they can race. And one other thing, coming up again in the summer, as we did last year, as I've done at all of my drag strips, we'll have Beat the Heat, where you'll be able to come out and race against a police officer. If you beat the police officer, we give you a T-shirt that says, I beat the Heat. A lot of fun.
Peter, you got it all covered. I told my experiences years ago. I went to Englishtown, New Jersey. Took my brother-in-law, who is really into it, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, there was a lot of noise and everything else, but I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people love this stuff. So, and I travel the South. I know what it's like down there, but it's nice to see it here on Long Island. People embracing the sport. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Can't thank you enough. We'll be out there. If you want to line me up with somebody, bring it on, baby. Bring it.
You got it.
Just make sure my wheels can go about 180.
Well, it depends on how you're going to drive that, bro.
Actually, I want to test that. You put me in a Tesla, I'm there. Put me in a Tesla.
I don't think. All right.
Scalzo, make it happen. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. April 9th,
Thanks
folks.
for having me.
All right, we'll do a little.
Oh, there we go. Let's get back over here. All right. So what do we got? April 9th, 10:30 in the morning for the opening ceremonies. If you're going to race your car, tech inspection of all cars. If you're going to race the car, regardless of what it is, it has to have a muffler and some other safety equipment. Go to Racetrack, not Street, to get the details on it. You got to pass tech inspection. That opens at 8 o'clock. Every morning it opens up at 8 o'clock. So the races that are taking place now in the spring, it's going to be the 9th, 10th, and the 16th, 3 days only, 9th, 10th, 16th. Tech inspections open up at 8 o'clock in the morning. The spectator side of it is, well, you can come whenever you want, but the racing itself will go from 11 to 4 each day, except for the first day. Then you're going to have the opening day ceremony. Access, it's $25 a ticket, 10 and under free. Boom. You got that aspect of it. What you're going to see there, one, you get a chance to walk through the pit area. You get a chance to talk to all these people. You get to talk to some of these kids, actually. Kids, you get a chance to talk to the kids. But what is it like to be 6, 7 years old, racing down the track at like 50 or 60 miles an hour in these things? It's unbelievable. It's absolutely incredibly awesome. Or for you, let's say more the gray-haired team, the excitement team, more the gray-haired team, what is it like to drive that car? Just absolutely incredible. What is it like to drive that car down the track? I mean, that's got to be something too. It's like as big as my first apartment that I was in. Unreal. But you bring, so you got food trucks, clean, very clean, spectator stands. I don't have the photo in there of that one, but you're really close. I might have it in the end here, but you're real close to where the racing actually is. Now I don't. It's just on the other side of that building, and that building's not going to be there. That's where the announcer was. Now there's something a little bit different. I'll let you know about that as that comes up. Yes, they're giving me the microphone. I don't know, Pete. What were you thinking, man? What were you thinking? Although maybe the cars will be loud enough to drown me out, so you'll be right there. But it's great, just great. If you're driving, so here's the expense on that one, and you go there for the exact numbers. But it's 25 for you, 25 for the car, and I think like $20 to go park in the pit area over there. If you want some special area to park, it's a little bit more money, but that's it. That's it. When I spoke to these folks about why the excitement, why so excitement, why so much excitement about this whole thing. Part of it's the economics of it. Yeah, the supervisor spoke about all these businesses that were now open during race day, all the restaurants, the delis, and now it's that picked up. You could also speak to some of the hotels that were ran deals over here for these folks that are coming in and spending the weekend. You know, they love this thing. In fact, Hotel Indigo is running something. One of the other hotels has been doing car shows all along. So that, you know, that becomes something. You know, that they continue. They see the benefit in all of this stuff. You know, it's there. But these drivers, their standpoint, and they're like, well, look, when I had to go to over the bridge to wherever they were going with the tracks, remember, to drive legally, they have to drive at a track. They're spending well over $100 to get over the bridge, let alone fuel and everything like that. Now they're spending less than $100 to race, to bring their car and them, which means if you had a certain amount of money you were spending on this whole thing, you could bring the family for the amount of transportation costs and time, you know, to go to some of these other tracks. They're excited about that. And maybe that was the reason why there were so many families there, because the families were able to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning or even come in two cars. It didn't matter. There was no extra parking fee. There's no parking fee for the spectators. Come in two cars. So mom or dad, and I mean mom or dad, or was it grandma or grandpa that was driving those cars? You heard that. That's so true. Maybe the little kid. Well, the little kid's got to be driven by somebody. Can't drive legally on the street. But they have breakfast at home. Mom and dad takes the car out there, goes for inspection, then 10 o'clock, whatever, the rest of the family comes. After sleeping in their own bed, having breakfast at home. They go out, race for the day, fun stuff, all good. 4 o'clock, everybody packs up, leaves sometime thereafter, and they leave like the boating people leave. It takes forever to leave because, oh, you got to go talk to this person, that person. I've seen those conversations take forever where you just don't leave that quickly. It's one of the reasons why there's no real traffic issue either. Everybody comes and goes in their own time frame and all that. But then they're home at night. Maybe they go out to a restaurant, that'd be nice, but they're home at night. And the next day, if it's Saturday and Sunday, do it all over again. No hotel expense they have. No hotel expense they have. No buying a whole lot of food because they can bring from home. No eating out expense that goes along with that. Fuel expense is less. That's for the folks here on the island. But I'm going to leave you with one big what if. What if? Let's go full screen over here. That's the driver introduction we're talking about there. What if? Let's live in the world of what if. What if this temporary track, and Pete mentioned that, it gets built and it gets taken down, so the runway is the runway and it's a usable runway if needed, always. Those barriers, those concrete barriers get taken away. The stands get taken away. The food trucks drive away. They're obviously that. And everything else gets cleaned up. It's like never there, except for a couple of a little bit of rubber left on the roadway and that kind of thing. It's no impact, very little impact, but no, very little impact on there. That's a consideration, big time consideration with the whole thing. That's why that gap in between the races in April and then the start up again in August. It's bird nesting season. But what if this idea of a temporary track became a permanent track? What about all those automotive businesses that are here, all the racing engine businesses that are here? Do you think it would be a positive in that respect? I tend to think so. What if there was a permanent track here? Do you think some of these automotive programs that are in high schools, the BOCES program, Suffolk Automotive program, Suffolk Automotive will be out there, by the way. What do you think would happen with those programs? Do you think they become more popular or less popular? I think more popular. What if more people got into the automotive programs in these schools? I can tell you, my garage would be happier. This way they get a few more people down there to go work on the cars, on those combustion engine cars. What are those battery operated cars? Why do you think Tesla has paid internships for some of the students in Suffolk Automotive? Why do you think the automotive programs continue to grow? There's a need. What do you think about those students that are in these automotive programs that are now learning skills that are transferable to other industries? Welding. Some student learns how to weld a car, put the pieces together for a rat rod like they did at Oceanside High School. What about that welding experience? What do you think happens with that if they go into the construction industry and say, yeah, I've been welding for 2-3 years, and they show up and they're 19 years old? What if they showed up at the aerospace industry and said, yeah, I have welding experience. I know how to read blueprints. I know what it's like to be a team member. I know what it's like to manage a project. Maybe even get a PMP designation immediately after high school. Perhaps, who knows? Maybe there's some program they could do it even during high school years and walk out of high school with the ability to weld, read a blueprint, understand what the importance of teamwork, and also have a project management designation. Wow. What if they did that? What if they walked into your business and they had all the rest of that stuff? You think you know that you would have an engaged employee? Oh, I think you would. You think the industries that are here, the manufacturers that are here today, that are struggling to find employees today, would be happy to see a lot of these things? I tend to think they would, but you could ask them directly. May 26th, the HIA trade show. Ron Loveland heads the manufacturing committee. He's coordinating a big time event inside the HIA trade show, which we attended last year as Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. Dennis Catoni was there, had a few of his friends show up with race cars and cars that were street cars that were modified. So thank you all for doing that. That was fun. Oceanside High School, they showed up with their students along with a boat they built and a car that they were building, a rat rod, which is a totally put together, customized car. They learned how to weld. They learned how to read blueprints. They learned about everything. Patchogue Medford brought their students. It was one of the other groups of students. They were not building cars or doing everything like that. But these students were in another program about business and how to do business, how to, and they all learned how to be who they are and learn about trade shows and stuff like that, learn about the opportunities on the island. So if there was a permanent drag strip, not only the vocational side of it would be pretty darn interesting, but what about the tourism side of it? It's just another reason for people to come and visit here, like those people that are racing their cars in Pennsylvania and Jersey, Connecticut, upstate New York. Maybe they would want to come here for the weekend. Maybe other families want to come here for the weekend, enjoy a little bit of excitement, either at Riverhead Raceway or at the EPCAL Dragway. Should that become a permanent factor over here? And then go to Splish Splash and the wineries and the beaches and everything else that goes along. What if? Illegal street racing? That's another what if. We'll save that conversation for another day, but what if? And I'd like to have a conversation with some of those folks that fall into that what if category. So I'll be at the HIA trade show May 26th, obviously be at the opening ceremonies, and they're on at EPCAL. So if you're available and you want to come out and have some fun, April 9th, opening ceremony at 10:30, and who knows, maybe I'll race Jay if he shows up there with a car. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? All right, my friends, drive safely. Remember, speak well, speak often, live inspired. You just might inspire somebody else to achieve much more than they ever thought they'd be able to accomplish by being surrounded by the right group of people that really understand what it is good for you to share your thoughts, your dreams, because when they fit in with everybody else's, great things happen. Really terrific things happen. We'll see you April 9th. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. All right, ready. What do we got? That tomato. Where is the tomato? There it is. It's on the brand. Tomato Talk. Take us away.